Hey YouTube, this is Jay Money with Falling Forward Financial. Happy Friday. Just doing an update here on Pfizer. It's Pfizer Friday. There you go. I have talked about Pfizer on the channel a couple times. Pfizer was one of my very first videos I ever did here on the channel. It was back in December sometime, and lots of talk about Pfizer at the time, vaccine and so on, and was struggling what to make a video about, and I was like, oh, why not Pfizer? So, but back to Pfizer. Ticker is PFE. I've held Pfizer for years. I have some in my retirement account. It doesn't do a whole lot in regards to share appreciation, but you do have a decent dividend, and it doesn't really dip, so you don't have to really worry about that too much. But as you can see, it's kind of up and down. If we go back to the pandemic time, so as you can see, you could have got it for $27. Was up above 43 at one time and just hasn't recovered since then. Went up to 41 back in December. And so here's kind of what it's done over the last month. Had kind of a decent run up, 9%, $3. That's pretty good for this stock. If you know much about this one, you know it doesn't move all that much. So I feel that's excellent for Pfizer. In the last week, it's had a great last week as well. I haven't bought any of this for a while. I bought some, and then it went up, and then it kind of traded kind of flat, and then I think it came down, and I got into some other things, so I didn't buy any more. But I've just continued to hold this one, and it's having a pretty decent day here today, so I think it's going to hit 40 by the end of the year. We'll wait and see. But as you can see, I have 12 shares here. Not too bad of a return for Pfizer. I'll let you pause and you can go over that there for yourself. I'm sure everybody has heard of Pfizer. Been around forever, since 1849, a $213 billion market cap. And a pretty fat, juicy dividend on this one of 4.12, so not too bad. Not a whole lot of volume here. Doesn't really move all that much, so if you want to trade it, go for it. I don't give tax, legal, or trading advice. It just doesn't move that much, so it'd probably would be a good safe one to if you were looking to trade it. But I'm just a long-term investor on this one, so not the greatest ratings. I thought this would go up in regards to all the vaccines and everything going out, but it hasn't. So, and they do have earnings coming up on May 4th in the pre-market. Here's when I bought mine back in May 29th. I saw it took a dip and couldn't resist, and so bought some, and I've had 2 other shares since May of 18, so almost coming up on 3 years I've held those. So you can see it just doesn't do much, but every 3 months you get dividends. So this is 34 cents, and looks like they raised it. So even in the pandemic year, they let's see, went from 36 cents so 34 cents to 36 cents. So even in the midst of the pandemic, they still raised the dividend. So, and then it's been raised up to 38 cents. And 38 cents, and currently, oh, there you go, 39 cents. So this is a profitable company. They have lots of sales, so they can raise their dividends. They've been paying dividends. I would have to look it up. Not for sure how long. I'm sure they're a dividend aristocrat, where they've been paying them for X amount of years. But you can see the dividends keep going up. So if you have enough shares and had it set up on drip, eventually it would accumulate another share and so on and so on, and just keep snowballing. But I got a lot of information to go over here about Pfizer. Countries are seeking more Moderna, Pfizer, BioNTech for the 19 shots as concerns mount over rival vaccines. And I'm sure if you're watching this, I'm sure you've already heard about a lot of it. Wealthy governments are looking for 19 shots for Pfizer and Moderna to keep the vaccination programs on track as safely concerns and production problems sidelined vaccines from AstraZeneca and J&J. And I'm sure you've all heard about the clotting and so on. The rollout of J&J's one-shot vaccine was paused in the United States this week over a handful of cases, very rarely, but dangerous blood clots in the brain, much like AstraZeneca safety issue. And I haven't really heard too much about Pfizer. I have not had the shot. Not saying that I'm not going to, but I have not at this point in time, so I'm still researching it. And if you've had it, or maybe we shouldn't even get into that discussion if you want to leave it in the comments. But moving on, the U.S. FDA said it is studying whether the technology behind both vaccines was connected to the clotting cases. Both used modified cold virus as a vector to deliver the 19 proteins into cells and prompt an immune response. So they say there was a lot of studies done on this, but I feel a lot of the studies are actually being done on the people that are getting the vaccines, because you always hear something thereafter, and that's in regards to pretty much any drug. So combine the two vaccine are supposed to account for more than 25% of the global supply in 2021. So that's why I've always been in Pfizer, and bought some more when I heard they were going to be working on the vaccine. And I just thought the stock price would have went up a little bit higher than what it has. I think it went up to 41 if you follow Pfizer, when the CEO cashed out a bunch of shares. I mean, it just, something was announced and the very next day it went up, and then that same day or the next day you heard he was selling shares. It just sounded kind of fishy to me, but it was at a high price, so maybe he wanted to take profit, buy a house, I don't know, who knows, but it still looked kind of weird to me. But feel free to pause and go over the rest there for yourself. I have not bought any of Moderna. If you look at it over the last year, it's went from about $20 to $30 to what it is now, probably $120 or $130, whatever it's at. I haven't looked at it in a while. You would have made some money on that one if you'd have bought it, but it's a very volatile stock. This goes over Sugar to hold phone talks with a Pfizer executive. And there you can see a bunch of the drugs sitting in the airport, and that's just on April 5th. So the Prime Minister plans to hold talks with an executive at U.S. pharmaceutical giant Pfizer during his visit to Washington, D.C., the 19 vaccine minister said Friday. In their talks, they seek additional supplies of the vaccines. And some Japanese government sources said Suga is arranging to hold talks with Pfizer CEO via telephone on Friday or Saturday, Japan time. The talks come as Japan's 19 inoculation campaign progresses very slowly compared with the United States and Europe. So I feel they're going to be doing the vaccines probably for another year minimum, if not 2 years, maybe longer, who knows. So they're also calling for a third vaccine now. So this is kind of some of the same information, just different website, MSN News, so if you'd rather read the bigger print, feel free to pause and I'll slowly scroll through. It's pretty much the same information. Japan has likely around 11 million doses of the Pfizer shot, according to official figures provided in March. The government estimates it could receive another 43 million doses in May, followed by 45 million in June, with 144 million doses expected in total. So that's got to do something for the stock price. That's why I'm long on Pfizer. I see a lot of people talking about different biopharmaceuticals, and they're sometimes penny stocks, and I just don't get into those. They're too volatile for me. But Pfizer, if you want a good steady pharmaceutical that pays a good dividend, I feel Pfizer is the one to buy. Or you could look at GlaxoSmithKline. I think the ticker is GSK, is another good steady one. It's kind of in the $40 range. It has a pretty decent dividend on it as well. But feel free to pause and go over this article. It's kind of the same information. But GlaxoSmithKline is another one. I don't own any of it currently at this point in time. I'm not saying that I'm not going to purchase it, but I'm just into too many other things right now at this point in time. And then until I get some money dropped in my lap, then maybe I'll be purchasing some. So if I do, I will make an updated video on that at a later time. But if you have Pfizer, Moderna, GlaxoSmithKline, Moderna, AstraZeneca, you can put that in the comments as well, and what your favorite pharmaceutical is and why, if you'd list the reason why. Here it goes over U.S. preparing 19 booster shots as Pfizer chief says third dose likely to be needed. And this is just stated here today. Rapidly spreading virus variants may necessitate regular booster shots, experts say. It'll probably just end up just like the flu shot. That's what I've assumed all along, and this just kind of goes over more information. Booster shot will be needed 9 to 12 months after people are initially vaccinated, a White House official said on Thursday. The Pfizer CEO also was talking about a third shot here in the next 12 months. Moderna partners with Pfizer and BioNTech retain most of the effectiveness for at least 6 months, although for how much longer has not been determined. So, like I said, I'm long on these. They do have some volatility in them. I just continue to hold through it. If you wanted to get out of when it's high, I would just put like a trailing stop on it and get out of it. Either do 5 or 10%, whatever you need to do. Again, I don't give tax, legal, or trading advice, but there is some volatility with these, and unless they have some real problem, I don't see why it would really dip too much. But PFE is undervalued. This is 10 days ago. Interesting undervalued stock. PFE. And over to StockTwits. Biggest scam company on earth. That's interesting. Can't wait for the 4th dose. Wow. 20,000 price. New monthly highs on all of these. I think this is Clover Health. Pfizer, Moderna, Bristol Myers. I sold Bristol Myers. I did have that one. I think it was up and I wanted to buy something else, so I sold it. Continue to hold Pfizer, going to reach 40. So that's what I say sometimes. This is just trades kind of sideways for a while, and now it's finally going up, so we'll see if it continues to stay, and if stock or tip ranks will cooperate. It should be coming up here. But if you haven't smashed that like button yet, go ahead and hit that for me, as well as subscribing. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. We're just inches away. I think last time I looked, I had about 796 subscribers, so we're almost there, and trying to get up to 1,000. But here you can see on tip ranks, just currently at 38.50, and this is showing a moderate buy. 41.50 is the projection, 7.79% upside, which is good. 53 of a high, low of 36, and average of 41.50. But like I said, there is some volatility with this one. You can get dips on it, buy it for 35, 36, and sometimes it does run up to 38. You just need to watch it. So here it was at 37 back in January, and came down at the end of February for whatever reason. This one does move with politics and any 19 news, so that's why I said if you're getting into it, buying in a tier, you might want to put a stop loss on it, and that would prevent you from hitting the dips, but it might also go down and sell out of it. So I don't use trailing stops a whole lot, so that's all that I have on Pfizer. Like I said, if you have this one, go ahead and leave it in the comments, and along with any other pharmaceuticals favorites that you have, put that in the comments as well. Smash that like button for me, and subscribe, and hit the bell so you're notified of when the next videos drop. Again, this is J Money, following Forward Financial. Happy trading, happy investing, stay green. Cheers.